Hey everybody. Today I want to shift gears just a little bit, and for the past few weeks we've talked about discipline and correction. We've talked about boundaries, we talked about obedience. But this week is all about something that is just as important, but so many times it's overlooked. And that is how to train our children with encouragement, encouraging them. And by encouragement, I'm not talking about, just random compliments here and there. I'm not talking about empty praise. What I'm talking about is intentional, truth-filled, heart-shaping words. Because here's the sobering truth for us, and that is that our children become the words that they hear the most. A lot of parents, they think that encouragement is just kind of a nice bonus to be nice to our children. Like, okay, Micah, when I'm not putting out fires, I'll say something nice to them. But that's actually backwards. You see, encouragement, it's not optional. It's actually part of discipling our children. It reminds them of who they are. It anchors them when life gets loud. It actually builds resilience in their heart, confidence in them, identity in them. Encouragement is a form of discipleship because it trains the heart. For instance, sometimes kids, they get discouraged, trying to get things right. And maybe they're getting discouraged with something that they normally love, and so they just check out. They're not necessarily being defiant, or they're not being lazy. They're just discouraged sometimes. And when that's the case, see, correcting them, oh, you should feel this way, you should feel that way, that they don't need that. They don't need a consequence. They just need a little bit of courage in that moment. And that's what our encouragement does. In fact, encouragement literally puts courage into your children. It reminds them that they're not alone, that you're there with them, that they have what it takes, that they are seen and that they matter and you're there for them. You see, encouragement, it's what we do before there has to be discipline. And it could be just as powerful, just as important as discipline. And see, sometimes Melissa and I would notice that our son Josiah, he had a hard time with his behavior in certain environments or around certain kids. Maybe it was his cousins or other friends that didn't behave exactly right. And when we knew that when he was about to hang out with them, we would encourage him ahead of time about how proud we are of him and how well behaved he always is. And so maybe we would point out something that recently happened with him and praise him, encourage him for that. There's that old proverb from Benjamin Franklin that actually says an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And that's true for our children. Because when we're talking about our words spoken to our children and over our children, sometimes we don't realize the power that our words have for prevention. I mean, think about a lot of the voices in your own head. Some of them came from parents and, teachers in your past, coaches, friends, and some were positive, like, hey man, you got this, or wow, you're a leader, or I'm proud of you. And then others, maybe not so much, those things that people spoke over us. Now, think about your child. What words are shaping how they see themselves? And if we're not intentional about speaking life, the world and their own insecurities will actually fill in the blanks. And those insecurities, if they receive those, they'll shape their behavior just like they shape ours. So then the question actually is, how do we encourage our children? What does that mean? Like, how do we encourage them well? Well, I want to give you 3 quick ideas, okay? Number 1, call out character in them, not just performance. So instead of just, hey, great job on your test, try, hey, I saw how hard you worked. I'm really proud of you. See, that kind of effort, buddy, that kind of effort, that really matters. So you're focusing more on their character than you are their performance. And that means a lot, all right? So next is encourage their effort and not just their outcomes. See, sometimes our kids, they try hard, but they still fail. And when that happens, we have to make sure that we're celebrating the try. right? This means more to your child than you could ever know. And then the third thing is speak identity, not just flattery. So what I mean by that is that we have to talk with them about who they are, not just what they do. So it's about identity. You are kind. You are brave. Wow, I love how you never gave up. You're somebody who keeps going when it's hard. You're speaking to their character, to their identity, and those are the words that stick. So here's the challenge this week. Look for one moment each day to speak life over your child. Not just to cheer them up, but to actually shape who they are behaving or who they are becoming. Catch them doing something right. Name the good that you see in them. Use your words to build them up and not just correct them. Because here's the deal. You are the loudest voice in your child's life right now. And you want to make sure that that voice is actually saying something that's worth remembering.